But today is tomorrow's history, and tomorrow's Rotarians will be talking about you. What will they say? That was the generation that eradicated polio. They saw the need, and even when economic times got tough and hope was waning, they saw it through to completion. They were trusted by a great philanthropist of the time, who said he would only trust Rotary with his money for this project, and they amazingly matched it. The celebration of the completion of this project was seen around the world. If they could do it, so can we. That was the generation that responded to unbelievable world disasters by creating and supporting organisations like Shelterbox that gave the homeless a shelter from the elements, somewhere to stay as a family, and more importantly, hope and dignity. That was the district that stepped into the breach at very short notice and gave Rotarians from around the world a great convention to remember, one that was talked about for years to come. That was the generation that turned around the membership difficulties Rotary had been experiencing in the Western world through its Thanks for Life project with schools, its establishing of windows of opportunities in towns, and the Rotarians' determination to keep Rotary alive and kicking so that we had an organisation to join. That was the generation that made a real contribution to world peace by the establishment of the peace study centres around the world, which have produced some of the most effective leaders, philanthropists and innovators of our time. And what will they say about you as an individual Rotarian? Who knows? But be assured that whatever you do in Rotary today will contribute to the memory of you in the future. I think of the world as a piece of music, sometimes pleasant to hear and joyful, and one you can easily sing along with, but other times quite sad, or sounding like the parts are in conflict with each other, and therefore difficult to listen to. Each instrument has its part to play, but will only bring something harmonious to the final performance if they listen to those around them and try to play with them rather than independently. A bit like the world, really. I've always seen my part in the world's piece of music as playing the harmony, a piece of music in my own right, but one that hopefully adds depth and colour to the song played by others. In my view, Rotary is also that harmony. It brings unity to the parts that might otherwise sound disparate and unconnected. It is there throughout the music, maybe quieter at some points, but never disappearing. The world needs Rotary to weave its influence to bring peace and harmony to it. Would there be a United Nations without Rotary? What influence will we have over the future of our world through the Peace Fellows that have been set up? Having visited the Peace Conference at Bradford for the past couple of years, one cannot fail but to have hope that there are people there who will become our world leaders and great influencers over governments in the future. Hence my decision to make the collection tomorrow for the Bill Huntley Memorial Fund, which is to fund a perpetual World Peace Fellows place. Whilst the world is full of a rich tapestry of languages, Rotary speaks one, the language of service. No matter where we are in the world and what our natural language is, we are all united by the service we give. Our language is more often one spoken by our hands and eyes rather than our mouth. You can show someone what you mean by stretching out your hand and giving service, or by showing compassion and love through your eyes. Rotary needs people who are prepared to roll up their sleeves and get on with the task in hand. People who are prepared to find solutions rather than obstacles, and people who do not look at the cost to themselves, but rather see the change they can bring about for someone else. Our world desperately needs Rotary, and Rotary desperately needs you. Without you, Rotary is nothing but a name. I've been amazed as I've gone around the clubs at the amount of service that is being given. Sometimes within our own clubs we think we're not making a difference, but you are to many individuals. I hope that at the end of the year we can collect in details of all that our clubs have done, the hours of service given, the monies raised, the organisations supported, to celebrate the achievements that you have made. Never underestimate what you as an individual or Rotary Club can do. Who knows, you might change the world. Literacy is an area that I know David Powell has a real commitment to. As a teacher of young children, one of the most memorable moments is when you sit with a child who finally puts all the elements together of their letter and sound recognition to be able to read a set of words and with understanding. I find it hard to imagine a world where I could not read stories, poetry, amazing autobiographies and information books. Sometimes we take our ability to read and the materials available for granted. The challenge is the number of people who cannot do that because they find their circumstances prevent them from going to school in the first place, or a lack of books and teachers means children are not given a chance of an education, employment, or a way out of poverty. Do not think this is just the case abroad, for in this country we have a prison population of whom a large percentage are illiterate, and some children who too are in poverty, and whose parents cannot find the resources to provide their children with good reading materials. Rotarians in the district have shown much commitment to literacy over the years. Many clubs have supported the dictionary project, and some I know sent them abroad as well. Some Rotarians have become literacy volunteers in schools, which is such a valuable piece of work. And others have regularly done work on talking books for those who cannot read text for themselves. Through these acts of service, you are helping others to keep in touch with the world and develop a love of language and a set of skills to set them up for life. Their memories will be of the chance to read, to follow instructions successfully, to complete application forms, to be able to take further study and support themselves and their families, as well as having the sheer pleasure of being able to enter imaginary worlds. Rotary does much that allows youngsters especially to create memories whilst extending and practising their skills through the creative arts. Within our district, we've seen a huge development of the youth competitions under Brian Carpenter's leadership. Youngsters, through the opportunities given by our clubs, have the chance to display their skills in innovation, photography, public speaking, and food technology, to name a few. The Rotary theme for this year is "The future of Rotary is in your hands." What better place to start than with the youngsters of our time? They are our future, and if we show our confidence in them, they will not disappoint us. Our Youth Exchange and Ryler programmes also give youngsters the experiences, skills and opportunities that help mould them into the adults they will become. Do not underestimate the difference this district has made to many young people through these programmes, which are developing all the time. Paul will tell you more later about a development in Youth Exchange we will be looking for your assistance with. Our Ryler programme is also developing. Because of the links we have with young carers, we're going to open up our UK Ryler to them so that they can gain a Rotary certificate to show their leadership potential and gain a voting certificate at the same time. All of these opportunities will create a group of youngsters who will be saying, "Thank you, Rotary," for the chance to take part in competitions, to practice their skills and identify where their gifts lie. And thank you for believing in them when others did not. You as Rotarians are also very creative beings. It's been encouraging on my visits around clubs to hear of the exciting, innovative ideas clubs have for future projects. There's certainly some creative spirit out there. Whilst we need to sustain our support of projects, we do also need to ensure that we keep our programmes fresh, and a good way to do that is to find a new project to undertake. It might just encourage some of those members who don't help with other events because John always leads on that, and it may uncover skills you didn't realise members had. One of the biggest similarities between Rotary and schools is the